Hi, this is Brian Kim. I'm going to share with you this case of a patient who was referred for an unhappy cataract surgery. This patient's post-LASIK, had cataract surgery 6 months ago, never saw well afterward. You're going to see my technique on how I'm able to take out and extricate this intraocular lens that's fused to the capsular bag, placing the LI61AO lens into the capsular bag with the EZ-24 injector. So again, this patient had LASIK done elsewhere, cataract surgery right eye done elsewhere, never saw well post-op day one. So that's the trick. Anytime a patient has poor vision since day one, it's not PCO, it's not some other thing. You have to think that the LASIK surgery and the aberrations combined with cataract surgery has caused the patient to have poor vision. So you're going to see how I'm going to take this lens out and place the LI61AO lens in the bag. So I'll make my incisions with the 1mm blade, first on the right side and then the left side. You can see the lens surgery is actually perfectly executed. Great overlap of the anterior capsule on the optic. This is some dispersive viscoelastic to protect the corneal endothelium. This is the 3mm blade. I make a vertical groove, place the blade into the deep part of the groove, tunnel, and then I enter. And this is my prototype capsule dissector. It's blunt tip. I'm able to get underneath the rhexis edge, and I have dispersive viscoelastic on it, and I'm able to push the dispersive viscoelastic, creating a space between the anterior capsule and the lens. And I'm going around circumferentially, paying close attention to the optic-haptic junction, creating that space, lifting the rhexis edge up off the lens surface, and also trying to visco separate the anterior and posterior capsules. So you want to be very careful as you push viscoelastic, and you don't want to overinflate the bag. And so as you do this, you have to burp periodically. So you burp the wound, and then keep going. It's very important. You're putting all this viscoelastic in. You want to make sure that the eye is not too full of OVD. So again, 6 months post-op. You see all that viscoelastic I'm taking out. Freeing up the haptics, going in with the cohesive viscoelastic cannula now, and paying attention to the optic-haptic junction, as well as the haptics, and pushing cohesive viscoelastic to create some visco separation of the anterior posterior capsules in the area of the haptic. And as I do this, as I tease it, you can see the left side haptics somewhat loose, and I get underneath the lens and push some more cohesive viscoelastic to push the posterior capsule away from the lens. Now that I feel that the lens is fairly loose, I'm using a Lester hook, and I'm lifting the left side haptic up. You can see that the tip of the haptic is still stuck inside the bag. So what I did is grab the haptic with the forceps, micro forceps, and then with the two-handed technique, essentially pulled on the haptic with the Lester hook, and I was able to free the haptic tip. Well, now that I have the left side haptic in the angle, I start to pull on the right side optic-haptic junction, and you can see there's quite a bit of stria. It's clear that the haptic is stuck in the capsule fornix. So I go back with the capsule dissector, and I'm trying to tease the haptic off the bag. So I'm pushing viscoelastic and mechanically trying to tease that haptic off. Again, I can see it's still stuck. I'm using the microforceps to try to pull. As you can see that the haptic tip is caught in the capsule fornix. So now using a two-handed technique, grabbing the haptic with forceps, and then in the left hand, I'm pushing cohesive viscoelastic simultaneously, pushing. And as I do that, finally it lets go, it releases the haptic tip. So I'm able to place it into the angle. And then I have in my left hand the serrated IOL holder. Again, these are all MST instruments. Grabbing the lens with the holder on the left side, cutting the lens completely with the MST IOL cutters in the right hand, disengaging both instruments, switching hands, going after the right side piece, grabbing the cut edge, and as I pull, the haptic collapses on itself. Twirling the left side piece 180 degrees to grab the cut edge, and as I pull it out, the haptic collapses on itself. So that's my standard technique. Filling the bag with cohesive viscoelastic, and this is the LI61AO lens with the EZ-24. And with this injector, it goes through really nicely. I'm able to place it really deep. That's why I like the EZ-2.4 more than the EZ-2.8. This goes all the way in. So I'm able to place that leading haptic into the bag. I have that viscoelastic cannula in my right hand. I'm slowly pushing the plunger, advancing the lens, making sure I'm in the bag. The optic is slowly coming out in a very controlled manner. And it just opens right up. Now, in the past, I showed videos of the lens coming out really fast and the haptic pointing down, and I figured out it's because the incision was smaller. In this case, I have a 3.0 incision, and that's why this lens doesn't do that. It doesn't violently open. Since the incision is larger, the optic comes out much smoother. The haptic is not bent so much because, again, the optic is not curled like a taco as much with this larger incision. So the haptic came out planar, the optic came out nice and smooth. And so this is a really great technique. And I do encourage people to use the EZ-2.4 because it goes into the eye so much more than the EZ-2.8. Again, I went underneath the lens, removing the viscoelastic from within the bag. And now I'm removing the viscoelastic from the anterior chamber. And then I'll hydrate my incision. So again, this is a patient who is status post-LASIK. Anyone who's status post-LASIK, their eyes with the aberrations from the LASIK combined with the intraocular lens. Some of these intraocular lenses have spherical aberration, and the Alcon Clareon lens has negative spherical aberration. This patient clearly, because of the LASIK combined with the negative spherical aberration of this Clareon lens, had very poor vision since day one. And so by taking out this lens and putting in a zero spherical aberration lens and the LI61AO, this patient was much more happy. You saw my technique using the capsule dissector. Again, it's a prototype and I'm working with Epsilon to finalize the design, but essentially it's a flat tipped cannula. I have the dispersive viscoelastic mounted on it. You see how easy I'm able to get underneath the edge of the rhexis. There's no risk of cutting the rhexis or damaging it. And I was able to very carefully visco separate the anterior and posterior capsules. And once I create that space, I go in with a cohesive viscoelastic. And I was able to use a two-handed technique to extricate the tip of the haptic using microforceps and the viscoelastic cannula simultaneously to free that haptic up and then cut it out. So to review, the preoperative uncorrected vision was 20/60 in this eye. Manifest refraction was a -1 plus a half. Postoperatively, the uncorrected vision improved to 20/30, and the manifest refraction was -3/4 plus a half for 20/25 vision. And this patient was extremely happy. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I thank you for your attention.